My dad has stage 4 cancer, and I know that probably everyone watching this has lost someone that they love to cancer or to some other disease. And I don't know what that was like for you, but for me, it's really caused me to think a lot about my dad, about the kind of man that he is, and about the life that he lived. And I am incredibly lucky. I mean, for me, it's been one good memory after another, one thankfulness after another, but there's one story that stands out, and it's probably in many ways the reason for so many of the other stories. So when I was a little kid, my dad was a vice president at a publishing company in Minnesota. And the board of the publishing company had hired a new president, and he was brought in to cut costs, to streamline operations, basically to reduce the staff and increase the output, right? So the new president starts meeting with all his direct reports, which includes my dad. So my dad goes into his office for this meeting, and the president starts telling my dad what he expects. You know, we all need to be doing more. We all need to be working harder. We all need to really turn this thing around together. And my dad, I mean, he's up to the challenge. You know, he tells his boss, hey, I'm ready. I'm gonna come in work early. I'm gonna work hard while I'm here. I'm gonna bring home work if necessary, and I'll do it late at night. I'm gonna do what it takes. But, my dad says, here's the thing. You can set your watch by my car's exhaust at 5 p.m. In other words, when 5 p.m. comes around, I'm out of here. And he tells the president, look, this is why. I have a wife, I have 2 young boys at home, and they need me. So that's basically the first impression. The meeting ends, my dad doesn't get fired, and life goes on. So he's working hard, like always. He's doing what needs to be done, like always. But at the end of the day, he's coming home to his family, like always. So about 6 months passes, and he gets called into the president's office. And the president says, do you remember that conversation that we had about 6 months ago? My dad says, yep. And the president says, when you told me that you were leaving the office every night at 5, I want you to know how offended I was. He says, look, I've always been the first one in the office. I've always been the last one to leave the office. I'm about work. And then he looks at my dad and he says, but I've seen the relationship that you have with your boys and with your wife. And my relationship with my sons is not where I want to be. And my relationship with my wife right now is not where I want to be. So Dan, that's my dad's name, here's what I want you to do. Before you walk out to your car at 5 p.m., I want you to come to my office, knock on my door, and tell me it's time to go home. So here's the lessons I take from this story. First, my dad is a great man, and even from a young age, he had his priorities straight. He was going to work hard, he was determined to be a committed employee, but not at the expense of his family. Number 2, people are watching us, and we will make an impact on the lives of others, either positively or negatively. And 3, I want to be like my dad. Thanks for listening.